As always, a ton of motorsports on the ESPN networks. NHRA Finals from Reading, Pennsylvania tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. NASCAR Now late night Michigan wrap up 1 a.m. Eastern time on the East Coast. NASCAR Now Monday roundtable 5 Eastern tomorrow. Ray, Ricky Craven, and Mike Massaro join me to wrap up the weekend's events here in Michigan. And then next weekend in Bristol, Friday night the Nationwide Series race 7:30. Saturday night the Sprint Cup Series race presented by Pennzoil Platinum 7 Eastern time. Those on ESPN. We got it all coming up over the coming week. Now, we talked a lot on NASCAR Countdown about the bubble drivers in the race to the chase, and a lot of them starting way in the back. Where are they running in the race right now? Well, for the most part, some of them have made some pretty good progress.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin Harvick's on the move. He's moved himself up a few points and has a good run going today. Matt Kenseth looks poised to have a great run today, so I think those two guys are going to have a good evening as it rounds.
You know, I've been watching the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, just a little bit, guys, and he's moved up 11 positions, but he's almost a second slower than the leader right now. So, I mean, he's not looking good for speed. He has picked up some spots on the track, so we have to continue to watch these guys. This racetrack has continued to get real slick. The guys running on the bottom, the middle, and the top like we predicted, so we'll check it out.
No question, Kevin Harvick's been the biggest mover among the bubble boys early. Watching Matt Kenseth. Dave, what's going on with that 17?
Well, and guys, he sets up his car to run anywhere. Even though the top line may be the quickest, he knows he'll have to pass guys on the bottom line, so they worked on that all weekend. Unfortunately, they made that air pressure and wedge adjustment on the last stop. The car is looser than it was before, so they're going to have to take a bigger swing at it next time for Kenseth. As for Kevin Harvick, he's picked up 6 positions since the restart. They made a change to that car to try to give him more rear grip. His car was loose as well. That also was a wedge and air pressure adjustment, and they have moved forward. As to their bad qualifying level, I think Kevin probably told you earlier, they don't know why that happened, but they're racing better now.
Started 38th, and you see the scoring serial on Kevin Harvick there. He's all the way up to 14th position. Running there with another one of the bubble boys, David Reagan.
David Reagan's getting ready to put himself in a good position. He's been so consistent the last 10 races. Had a couple of races where he had some bad luck, but I still think David is poised to strike. If he can get a good finish today, stay up around that top 15, possibly get into the top 10, he goes into next week with a great opportunity.
I tell you, the Roush guys always run strong right here, and he needs a tap off of Jack Roush and all the knowledge that his teammates got and bring home a good finish right here in Michigan, because this could be a big, big day for David Reagan if he keeps this baby going the way he's going right now.
So some of the bubble boys trying to move their way forward, Doc, and catch up with those guys up front.
Thank you, Alan. And guys, then who they're chasing up front, just like it was back in June. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led twice, now for 30 laps as he comes by. And let's check in his pits with Shannon Spake.
Yeah, Doc, I told you on that last pit stop had with Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s water temperature was a little high. Well, it's not getting any better. This is the radio that he just radioed into Tony Eury Jr.'s crew chief.
I got a big problem. The water temp is at 260. The oil temp is 300.
So team members were just out on the wall with some binoculars trying to check out that car on the track. And as you can see right now, Tony Eury Jr. just trying to figure out what to do. We'll keep you up to date on the issues down here in the 88 pit stall.
Well, that is a huge problem. That water temperature is right on the borderline, if not just over it. I'd be very concerned about this, and I'm sure Tony Eury is going to think about maybe getting him in early.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. We saw him flip and switch, and sometimes if you think you have something on the grill, you can turn your radiator fan off and on a couple of times, and it may get it to fall off. So I think that's probably what Junior was doing right there as we see a battle for second. Not much of a battle right now. Brian Vickers is taking it over from Kyle Busch.
Last 4 laps, Vickers has been the fastest car on the racetrack. He has run laps faster than Dale Earnhardt Jr. So Vickers, who led 44 laps here in June, had a very good race car back in June. Ended up bringing it home in 4th position. Now on the move, trying to reel in the 88 car.
Getting back to that thing with Junior on the grill, if turning that switch off can help that, but what will work is if he can get up behind another car and turn that fan off, it might float that off of there, but he'd have to get right up next to another car, and he doesn't have anyone in front of him right now.
Hey, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm looking at the grill. Take a look at it right there. It's blocked up pretty good. There's a lot of debris on that grill, and it's not going to blow off Andy and Dale. I think this guy's going to have to pit this car or be risking blowing an engine up. And in championship hunt, I don't think he wants to go for that right now, guys.
And again, Rusty, for people who are watching from home, it's at the top of the splitter. The actual opening is not where it says Impala SS. It's down below that. at the top of the splitter, that little line where exactly the air comes in. Now, for more on those switches that he was trying to flip inside, let's go down to our Chevy cutaway car and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. The switch panel he's got, folks, is right here. This is the ignition switch, second ignition switch. He's got the switch right here. He can actually cut that fan off. But cutting the fan off is only part of the method. He's actually got to pull the car right up in behind that other car, stop the airflow, and hopefully the material will come off the grill because there's dead airspace right there. DJ?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Tim. A lot of things you can do, but where his problem is, I don't think there's anything they can really do. You know, sometimes you could back off and get behind another car and try to help that. But where this is, that seems to be one of the problems these guys have with this particular car, is that's where the trash seems to want to go, and it doesn't come off nearly as easy as if it were on that outside part. So be interesting to see what they were doing. Rusty was talking about the championship battle. Well, they're pretty much locked in as far as the chase goes, so they might be saying, hey, let's see if we can make it until.
It might actually be worth the gamble. Just stay out there. If he just could find another car here, that you can see there's nothing in front of him. You know, Brad Coleman is the first car that he's going to catch, but he's out there a good ways. If he could catch him and get right up behind him and turn that fan off, he might get that piece off.
What a difference a year makes for Dale Earnhardt Jr. In 2008, the win came here at Michigan. 7 top 5s. He has yet to have a DNF. No, we're not trying to jinx him. We hope we don't. And he is 4th in the points. He was 2nd until that disappointment at Watkins Glen a week ago. 50 laps complete here in the 3M Performance 400 at Brooklyn, Michigan International Speedway. And we now have our third leader of the day, Brian Vickers, and his Toyota has gone by the 88 car. And the grill looks like being passed by Vickers might have helped Dale Jr.
Well, what they did, they backed up. They backed up to the 83 car, let Brian Vickers go. And right as they made this pass, I saw a little flash of that paper coming off of there, and the next shot we had, you could see the grill was clear. I believe I just saw a little flash right there. Now, if you look at the grill, it looks like it's gone.
Yeah, definitely when he comes off of this corner, it's gone. So they should be in a lot better shape now. Shannon?
Yeah, the temperature, I told you guys before he was able to get the tape off the grill, was about 260, and it has lowered. It's now down to 240. So Tony Jr. just telling Dale Jr. to get out in that clean air, try to get it cooled down. They are planning on pitting around lap 62 under green.
Yeah, 240 is manageable. I wouldn't worry a bit about that. They can just go back on their game plan.
That probably means that maybe he's about 245. You usually, as a driver, you're not giving them the total of what it is. You don't want to scare them to death.
No, you guys wouldn't fudge the truth, would you?
Well, you know, you don't want to come in leading the race, so you know, it probably was 265 or 270. He just wasn't going to say that because they would have automatically come in.
Now, you know, when he pulled up behind, you see these two right here, Carl Edwards going by Kyle Busch. There's a sweet spot right behind that car where there's just basically a vacuum, total vacuum. And you kind of illustrate it right here. You see after they make this pass, Junior's trying to just get this car right in that hole where there's no velocity of air right on that grill. And then that piece of paper has a chance to float right off of there. See, he's just going for that vacuum right there. Right in that hole is where he was trying to place his nose.
And it vacuumed that hot dog wrapper right off the front of the car.
Yeah, that air is pretty amazing. The things that you can do and make it work, and you know, you can mess up guys by never touching them or anything, and you can also do things like that. And
but you know
I
what
know that he backed up somewhere, but
look at this right here though. That piece came off the grill, and now he's losing some downforce. He's losing on speed. He can't catch Brian Vickers.
It looks like you're clean there. Just give it a little time. Try to get her cool back off. Yeah. 240. Gauge is blue. All right, hit full button. Just stay there in some clean air and get her cool back off, and it wouldn't go back racing.
There you have it. Now instructions from Tony Uri Jr. Stay back there and get some clean air in that grill.
Yeah, he just wants to give the motor a rest. And you heard him say that the gauge is blue. They've got some little lights in these gauges. Some cool little deals that when the temperature is out of range where they want it, it'll actually turn yellow and red. And now it's back in the blue, meaning everything's good.
Our Wrangler telemetry shows you him just touching the brake there.
See how he goes back to the throttle. He's just giving it quarter throttle here. Now he's wide open. As these tires wear, you see that they're having to really baby that throttle. Even though this track is huge, they still struggle for grip here off the corner.
Wow, 203 miles an hour entering turn 1. Still boggles my mind. You can run 200 miles an hour lap, but it all comes down to fuel mileage at Michigan. They're chasing Brian Vickers. Back in a moment.